like I just said to you a little bit ago, NBA has been a realm, a sport where we had lacked. I'll be honest, we've lacked. And you carving out your time to join us here on the podcast, I really appreciate that. Really.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's fun having somebody a little taller than you here, bud.
Have you had anybody shorter than you?
There's somebody filming us shorter than him.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Chrisley is like maybe an inch taller than me. So, no. Colt Ford. Colt's probably my size.
He's definitely the tallest. You're definitely the
no
tallest,
doubt
so
about
congrats on that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. But, this region to you, I mean, this is kind of where
Home.
you grew up.
Yeah, this is home. It goes back to what you said, man. Is Pittsburgh? We don't have a pro basketball team, and we've never been a heavy basketball city. Always, great football players.
Yep.
Obviously, hockey, baseball, whatever. But basketball's always been maybe a step behind. So, just continuing to push and build basketball culture around here.
Yeah, I think that's good, especially for the youth.
Yeah.
Because you look at guys like that have played professionally. I know a friend of ours, Neil Walker, with baseball, played for the Pirates.
Yeah.
He's pushing a lot of, baseball programs for developmental of the youth to try to get our region to able to compete with, Texas and in the South. And for basketball, I'm sure, there's some. I would think there's some developmental programs in place here in Southwest PA, but to have a guy like you come out of here and doing what you're doing, it's hats off.
Thanks, man. That's a big part of it, right? Like when kids see that it's possible to make it somewhere, that it's possible to get to the highest level of anything that you're doing, and then you're able to pour back into them and be in front of them, I think is really helpful for kids adopting it and falling in love with the sport and whatever it is that they do. So props to Neil for getting back and doing that, and I think a lot of the pros in my era of Whippeal sports come back and really kind of pour their heart back into the city. So I think it's a good group, and I'll try to hold down the basketball end.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Speaking of Whippeal sports, I was texting with a buddy last night. He's a diehard Carolina fan.
Yep.
He played at Elizabeth Forward. And I said, do you recognize this name? And he said, oh, my God, yeah. He said he put 30 on us in the first half against Elizabeth Forward. So, little Whippeal legend right there.
There we go. Yep.
Well, congrats on your recent new contract with the Nets.
Thank you.
That and that's one of those things now, as you just mentioned earlier with the youth, man. This is your profession, but at the end of the day, you got to remain rooted into your roots, humble.
Right.
You're a role model.
Right.
There are thousands of kids out there,
right,
whether here in Carolina or in the whole country, really, that look at you
mm-hmm.
as a role model. So does that add any type of pressure to what you got going on? Or you just kind of stay laser focused, do what you always did?
It's never pressure. I think if it does anything, it adds perspective.
Yeah.
And I think perspective is the one thing that I try to keep in front of everything, because you can get so caught up in everything that you're doing, so caught up in the game and taking it for granted almost, to the point where you focus on what could be going bad or what's tough about it, or this, that, the other. But when you just put it in perspective, man, and understand that this is what I dreamed of doing since I was 0 years old. Like, this was it. Like, if you could have asked me what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, this is it. And so the opportunity to impact kids, impact the people around me is a blessing. It's a huge part of it. And it's a part of it that I definitely appreciate. And it's never pressure. Pressure's not the word I use to describe it.
That's interesting.
I like that.
That's interesting.
That's what you should think about when you're putting. Like, perspective.
Perspective, no pressure.
Yeah.
That's interesting to say it that way, because I think, we've had a lot of athletes, we've had a lot of musicians on the show, and that there is pressure in their mind, and that's an interesting take on it, is that it's perspective, not pressure. So that's really cool.
It's like a false pressure. I mean, I get it's
self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted pressure.
Well, and what a lot of that has to do, and we're all in it, is the social media world has created that.
Yeah, in very dangerous ways. Very dangerous ways. Right.
It has. It's
I mean,
You know-
you look at kids, they want to be perfect at 12, 13 years old, look perfect, be perfect, have the stuff. And that's
It's
a lot
not
of
real life, though.
That's
Yeah.
not
That's the
real.
problem. And you can't. It's really hard to tell them that because they like as many times as we can sit here and tell them that
It's not real.
As a kid's mind, it won't register.
yeah. What is perfect?
Perfect is
You-
whatever you want to like, whatever you are,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And it's
Being yourself.
you that's a whole topic of discussion. I mean,
Yeah, we
because
could talk about that
people, it is. It's a scary world in that regard. And now, like my niece, for example. I mean, she just turned 12. She's Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like, okay, now her 36-year-old uncle has to watch what he posts on social media because my niece is looking at everything. But I don't know. Yeah,
It
I
is.
don't know.
It's a crazy world that we live in, and yeah. So you came out of high school, out of Western PA.
Yep.
Hometown boy, goes to the University of Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Was that kind of your dream to go to Pitt?
Yeah. I'd say what
At that point-
my dad played there. Tons of family ties. Mom went to nursing school there. We were kind of a Pitt family. And it was a place that I went to games all the time when I was little, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to play here. I'd absolutely love to play here. And
Pete.
it was really cool to see that out, to play in the Pete. I remember when the Pete opened. I remember going to early games. I remember all the generations of basketball that came through in my time. When I was able to go and watch games. I was at some of the last games at the Field House.
That's awesome.
And my dad's teams played at the Field House, so I just felt connected to the program. And I really enjoyed my time there, man. It was like, when I tell you that's where I grew up. That's where I grew up. That's where I matured a lot and figured a lot of this basketball stuff out because it was hard. Jamie Dixon, he pushed us. And I came in as an 18-year-old. I went to Olsh and Moon, single A. Single A Whitfield basketball to ACC basketball is a big jump, right? And
It's a little
size,
bit of a change,
physicality. Right. So I was just like, every day I just went in there like, yeah, I'm a fight. And some days I'd sit in my locker for 45 minutes before practice, just laid back like, do I have it in me today? And so to be able to, like, on one hand, kind of just get through that process and get better every day and fight through it. Like, just looking back now, I was like, practices, training camps, seasons. I don't think it can get any harder than that. What I felt in those moments.
Well, yeah, and there were some lows in the years that you were there.
Yeah, some real troubles and stuff.
And that makes you question yourself a little bit. I mean, it's just normal.
Yeah.
Hey, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I contributing enough? Am I working harder?
Right.
So, at what point did you kind of say, "Hey, listen, I need to take the next step and further my career"?
Oh, this is something we could talk about for the whole entire podcast. So I'll shorten it up for the sake of time.
Yeah.
But so I graduated after my third year. And the reason I graduated, I didn't graduate to leave early.
Wait, you graduated Pitt after your third year?
Yes. So my third year ended. I was fully graduated, right? And my freshman year at Pitt, I went to go meet with my advisor. And I had credits transfer over from high school. I had a quick start at Pitt. I went first summer session, and I logged 3 or 4 classes in that first summer. And I had probably just a class or 2 extra than required every semester because, I was fine. It wasn't hard. I could handle the academic stuff. And I met with my advisor, I think, the very beginning of my second year. And I had tons of credits piled up, and I was getting ready to declare my major. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go into business. It'll be finance or it'll be, whatever. It's going to be something. So we're looking through and looking at all these course requirements. And my advisor's sitting there, and she goes, you have a ton of credits piled up in arts and sciences. Like, if you get you could finish your arts and sciences degree in a year and a half. And I was like, And she was like, you can finish your arts and sciences degree, get through that, and then I am coming off of a medical red shirt. I had shoulder surgery my freshman year, so I had 5 years. I had 4 more years of eligibility to play. She's like, you would have then 2 full years to complete your master's degree after finishing your undergrad, and you can do it all while on scholarship, all while playing. So I was like, So I was like, went home, talked to my family about it, and they were like, go for it. So I declared my major in art and sciences communication, finished up in 3 years. At the end of that third year, this was still, at the time we were actually a pretty solid team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My second year at Pitt, we were top 25 for a little bit, fell off a little bit at the end of the season. But at this point, it wasn't like leaving was like, oh, this program is not going in the right direction, whatever. We were fine. We were doing well. But at the end of my third year, Jamie had left. Kevin Stallings came in. The year was a tough one.
That was a tough year there.
We did not win. We had our struggles. And then everybody left. We had a lot of seniors, 4, 5 of them graduated. We had probably 6 guys transfer, so that adds up to about 10. So it was myself and 2 other guys that remained on the team. So there's 3 people on the roster, and you got a bunch of freshmen coming in. And when I say a bunch, I mean like 4 or 5. So there's really only like 8 people that could be on the roster for the upcoming year. And so I'm looking at the situation, and I'm understanding like we would be in a total rebuild of a program for my last 2 years.
Like almost not enough people to play.
Almost not enough people to play. And I've played in the ACC now for 3 years. I know that it is a difficult league. I like to think I'm okay player. Like I'm pretty decent, right? But you're not just gonna take any group of guys and win the ACC. Like it's tough. It's high level basketball. So I just took a look in the mirror and it's like, where do I want my last 2 years to go? Like I wanted to compete for a championship. So it was no slight against the university. It was no slight against anybody. It was just situational.
What you had to do for yourself at that time.
Right. Where I wanted to take my career, where I wanted to go. So it was a tough decision, man. To that point in my life, I had never had a true stress of a life decision weigh on me. You know what I mean? And then that was the first time I felt like, it's not like the stress of getting your homework done or getting a good grade or, minor like this is like a large life decision. And it was like, all right, like I'm really got to sit, think, pray, talk to people about this. And I made the decision to leave and hit the transfer, as a graduate transfer and went from there and tried to find a new home.
Question. Whenever you finally got to the point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Do you reach out to Carolina or do they reach out to you? How does that all take place so your name goes into a transfer portal?
No portal at this time.
Okay.
Portal did not exist yet. So at this time, you had to get a release from the university. And once you had your release from the university, then all other schools could contact you. Now, my release stated that I could not go to schools that were on Pitt's schedule or in the ACC, which would also be on Pitt's schedule. So I couldn't go to Carolina.
So
I did the recruiting process without being able to talk to any of those schools, right? But just on the concept of it, I was like, nah, I don't like that. So I'm gonna appeal it. I'm going to appeal that restriction on my transfer on the grounds that the school has completely changed since I got there. We have a new coach. We've had 2 athletic directors and a brand new team.
Yeah.
Right?
With barely enough people to play.
And new school colors. Like the whole thing changed.
Yeah.
It's a whole new school. And I fulfilled my academic obligations. I tried to be a model of a student athlete. I had good grades. I wasn't getting in trouble. It's like I fulfilled my obligations here. Why should you guys restrict me and where I can go? Like, what if a school in the ACC is the school that would be a good fit for me? So I appealed it.
Right.
But the appeal process took a long time. So if I got my release early April, I had a whole recruiting process with other schools. My appeal did not finally process until mid-May.
Wow.
So I had already almost figured out the entire recruiting process. And I went down to 2 schools, none of which were in the ACC. And I
You
picked
want
the one
to tell us who they were?
Arizona and Kentucky. Sean Miller was my dad's college teammate. And I loved Arizona. I thought it was beautiful out there.
Ugh, I love
Ended
Arizona.
up getting to play there for a couple years
Yeah.
anyway. But I was like, that would be a great fit for me. And then Calipari's a Moon guy.
Yeah.
Calipari was at Pitt when my dad was coming in, and so I've known him forever. So that
There's
comfort
ties,
level
yeah.
with coach, like a big thing about recruiting that kids need to understand is where you go, where you play, you have to trust your coach. You have to trust your organization, your program that you're playing for. So that was big for me.
But that's even in life too with a job. You got to trust your boss. You got to trust your
Exactly.
coworkers.
Same thing.
It's the same exact thing.
Same
I mean,
thing.
they all align so much. That's why I think athletics in college are important for people.
Right.
Or, our friend and I have a company, and I always tell him, like, college athletes are who are perfect to hire.
Yeah, I mean, it teaches you a lot
balance.
about life. Yeah, responsibility, commitment.
Yes. exactly.
Responsibilities. You have to be at practice on time. You have to work with others. There's so much.
Yes.
Sorry that I
No, that's
digress,
it
but-
though. So that's why I was kind of down to those 2 schools amongst others. So I thought Arizona would be the one that I was going to go to. They had a guy come back to school, which I don't think he was supposed to. It kind of caught everybody off guard. But it was like, oh man, whoa, their roster, is set. Like that's a high level, high recruited kid. He's not just going to throw his player to the side, and I'm not going to ask him to do that. So I'll just, But in the meantime, Kentucky also took on another player. So I was like back to the drawing board. So it just timed up that as that happened, I got my release from the original block in transfer that I could then speak to ACC schools. So then it was immediately I got on the phone with Carolina, was the first one to call me. Set up a visit, went down there, really liked because I played against them for 3 years.
Right,
I knew
and you've
exactly
been
what they
there,
were about,
yeah.
right? And I knew exactly the way they played, and so I went down there, visited. There was a couple other schools on the West Coast I was still looking at. Ohio State was still in contention, Oregon, UCLA, a couple of schools. But Carolina stood out to me. And I was like, this is a place that I would really like to go. The guys were great. Obviously, Hall of Fame coach.
Roy Williams was
They
there.
just won a national championship. And it seemed like a great fit. They had a guy, Justin Jackson, right before me. Kind of plays a very similar position to myself. Highly successful AC Player of the Year. Just went to the NBA, and I was like, this is a team that I feel like I could fit into, complement the guys, and also grow my game at the same time.
And that's how it is.
That's
how it went.
That's how you ended up at Tar Heel.
Yep.
Now, when did you get any backlash from anyone at Pitt or Pittsburgh in general, or
Yeah.
like, because when people probably see your stats or your name, the Nets, what college is it listed? Is it Carolina?
So that's the thing. People ask me this all the time, right? This is the way I frame it is I'm not picking one over the other.
Yeah.
You're not going to say
Right.
which one did you like better. I wouldn't have got I just want everybody to understand that both schools were so essential
Yeah.
to any bit of success that I could accomplish. All the coaches I played for, all my teammates, everything that I went through, put me in position to be where I am now, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So people ask me all the time, oh, he's not, he doesn't claim, I'm not going to not claim one school or the other. People always want me to pick, and it's like, no, these 2 schools were super essential. I loved the people that I was with.
Yeah.
I loved the universities as a whole. I guess that's human nature. It's like, no, it has to be one or the other. It has to be one or the other. I still wear my Pitt stuff all around. I have, I'll still rep Pitt. I'll still rep Carolina. As a matter of fact, I'll probably get them to say Pittsburgh in some of the, when they announce lineups and
Entrance.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, man, just both schools are so essential, man. And I grew so much at both. You're not going to make me pick between the 2.
Yeah.
I love my time at both. I learned a lot, and that's that.
The Dean
Yeah.
Dome. How freaking cool is that to
A
run
lot
out?
of blue everywhere.
How cool is it to run out of that tunnel, though?
Really cool.
The history.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I mean, you have the greatest basketball player of all time,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan, from there.
You know, you. I think the one thing about playing 3 years and transferring to a new school is that you learn to understand that appreciate what you have while you have it, right? So, you know, my teammates at Pitt and myself, like, a lot of us are still pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes on, you appreciate everything, you know, because you're together all the time. Sometimes you get tired of each other. Sometimes you want to fight. Sometimes you're arguing, blah, 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 blah. But as you get away from it, you're like, man, I miss that group. I appreciate that group, ups and downs and all. I love playing with those guys. So when I was at Carolina, again, perspective, it's like these years, they don't last forever. You don't get these moments back. You can't just play in college basketball until you're like, I mean, maybe now a guy's playing forever. But you can't play in college basketball like as long as you want. You know what I mean? Like the NBA, you can play until you can no longer play or they no
Right.
longer want you, and then you sail off into the sunset. But in college basketball, when your time is up, it's up. So it's like hold on to those moments. Like appreciate every time you run out that tunnel.
Yeah.
You know, and every former guy comes back and says, man, if I could just run out that tunnel one more time. And it's real. Like it is a surreal feeling. Like my senior night, we played Duke. It's always senior night will always be their Duke senior night or Carolina senior night. It'll always be the last game of the season at their place or at our place. So mine was a year that it was our senior night at home, and the whole entire experience of it. It was college game day, so you got everybody outside the arena starting at 6 a.m. So you have students just lined up. So we pull up to college game day when they're getting started. The arena's half full. Kids are outside. Kids are in the building. We leave college game day. You know, we're high-fiving. It's just everything's up in mayhem. We go do our pregame routines, team pregame meal, come back to the arena, and the whole entire outside of the arena's lined with students. So we take a lap around and you know, say hello, high-five everybody. And we take a lap around the entire arena, circle back, and go in through the top. We usually go in through like our own entrance, but like it's very traditional. It's like it's just a huge sign of gratitude, appreciation on both ends.
Right.
We go through all that. We play the game. We win. You know, huge environment. Duke Carolina, there's literally nothing like that game. Like just the buzz around it, the intensity, the noise level. It's kind of unmatched. And we win the game. We have senior speeches, you know, the other seniors, we get up there. Like, in those, like, you'll hold on to those moments forever, man. Like, they're there. And that's a feeling kind of unlike any other. And it's because the people.
Yeah.
They cared so much.
That gives me kind of chills, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, just knowing that you lived that. Now you
Yeah.
have that within you.
And nobody can take that away.
And nobody can
Right.
take that away from you, Cam.
Right.
Did
Nobody.
you give a speech at W&J for the golf team or what?
No, I didn't. I mean, you know, I was recording an album for my sophomore and junior year, and I came back my senior year swinging. You know, I know you like that one. But, yeah, watching those games, we're always in Pinehurst
Yeah.
in March.
That's the last game of the year for you guys.
Yeah.
When we're always at Pine Needles, and it's always the Duke Carolina game, Saturday night.
And we always say we're going to go. we never do.
did. But it's like, and for us as a fan, I look forward to that one night of the year.
Yeah.
Like really, that night of the year. And the fact that you were able to live it and play in it and still have that in you, man, that's so cool.
That's what
It's
makes it
chilling.
worth it, man. And I'll tell you, man, it's a huge like highs and lows. Like just as high as the highs get, the lows get just as low. So the year before, my second to last year, we played at Duke on their senior night, up 15 in the second half, and they came back and won. Right? That was a low. Like just because of the nature of the rivalry, to have them come back, the arena got so loud. Like the arena got so loud that the floor was shaking under my feet, and the vibration of all that, like, you know, when you speak,
Right.
you're
Oh, yeah.
projecting, so like, you know, you're speaking because it's like obviously like your vocal cords need to vibrate in order to produce sound, and you can be aware of that. But like the vibrations in the floor and in the arena were so strong that when you spoke, it didn't even like seem like you could not tell words were being produced. So I'm on defense trying to yell something at my teammate, and it's like, did I even did I even like
Yeah. Did he hear it? Did it come out?
right? And so they came back, they won. The arena is going nuts, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, bro, like this is like you just felt like you were
It's a
in a
nightmare,
low,
right?
And then we came back our senior year and beat them by 20 on their court with President Obama sitting courtside, and it's like because the low last year was so low, the high right there is so high.
So high.
You know, they come back and beat us in the ACC tournament my senior year. Because the highs are so high, the lows hit you hard. And it's that whole entire experience as a whole that it takes you through such a range of emotions that makes it valuable, because without the lows, the highs wouldn't be high.
Yeah.
You have to understand that if the highs weren't that high, then the lows wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
So you just got to take it all and appreciate it.
That's wisdom. I
So that's
that.
like kids ask, like, how do you handle losses? How do you handle tough times? How do you handle disappointment? And it's like, the reason it hurt so bad is because you know that you've had moments where it didn't, where it felt amazing.
Yeah.
So the further you get, the more you accomplish, you know, the higher things you achieve, the more the pain's going to hurt. And that's a blessing.
Yeah.
To be able to experience it, because it, like anything, man, like you can go through life, if you never experience anything and you never feel like it's numb, like it's barely in existence, but it's fulfilling when you're able to experience everything full circle.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that. I couldn't agree more. And honestly, I might not have ever thought of it in that way, but now that you just sat there and explained it like that, it's so true.
Yeah.
You know, if the highs weren't that high, you would not feel.
I mean, if you like our member
blows.
guests, bud, when we play in the member guests, how many did we lose? And we finally get one.
And it felt great. And then
it felt great. Then we lost again.
And we lost.
And it was back
terrible.
to
Yeah. We can apply
That's
to
golf though, right?
Oh,
Like,
well, speaking of, you're
Wait. I want to ask him one
Go
more
ahead.
question. Okay.
You go ahead. The floor's yours.
Because he's now been in the NBA for quite some time and he's played Duke, Carolina. What is the loudest? Is that the loudest arena you've been in? A part of so
at
far?
Duke. So Duke is small. Duke's arena is small, and they fit. They say they put 9,000 people in there. That you walk in there, it looks like it should be max 6,000, and people are turned sideways. Like, you know, it's grandfathered into the health codes. You know they get an exemption because it's like there's a lot of people in here in a small space, and it just like
double
our
mass.
arena gets loud, but it's a little bit bigger of an area. You know, like I was at the Penn State football game, and so it's 100,000 people, but it's a big open space, so it doesn't, you know, it's like a deep rumble. But like when you're in a small building like Duke, when it is packed with as many people as you can, like I said, the floor starts shaking. Like it becomes crazy. Carolina, Duke, huge, like loud. I'd say second, but there was another sneak one, NBA Finals, Game 4 in Milwaukee, and it was random. Because we're up 6 or something in the fourth quarter. Jay Crowder gets fouled on a 3 and goes to the line. And the crowd randomly just erupted. And I remember standing on the sideline, like, or towards half court, and I was like, the floor rumbling again, man. There's no way, like, an NBA arena is producing the floor rumble. Because that's when you know it's loud, is when, like, you feel like your feet are, like, popping like this. And so that arena got in 2021 NBA Finals. So everything was extra turned up because it was on the heels of like COVID restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
Where arenas were then allowed to be full. So like, do you remember like the Suns and 4 guy who threw a punch in Denver stands? And there was all kinds of mischief going on in stadiums just because people were so like anxious to get back to sporting events. So like Milwaukee, you know, they're always drinking beer and stuff. That arena just turned upside down for that fourth quarter. And it was like, this is like, and it was honestly, I wish we would have won. Like, it hurts to this day that we didn't win, but like the experience to go through something like that is very valuable. And, you know, like that's sports. Like that arena turned upside, and our arena was just as rocking, but like it was a heck of an environment.
Damn. Well, you talk about Penn State. I went to the opener there with WVU.
Yeah.
That's a loud stadium.
It's a loud stadium. There's a lot of people.
That is a loud stadium.
It's a
Being
lot of people.
inside an arena like Duke, Carolina, I couldn't imagine.
And your brother's playing hoops there, right?
And say now, yeah. That's
Oh,
why I
yeah.
went down. That's why I went down to see him and you know.
And he started at Carolina.
Yeah, he did.
That's one thing I remember. I do watch college hoops.
Yeah.
But I remember your brother, Puff,
Yeah.
when he got sick in that game.
Yeah, he threw up on the court.
Yeah. I told Pep that the other day. I said, I
But
think-
I had no clue.
Huh? Something funny.
yeah.
We were at one of my youngest brother. Both of us, me and Puff, were at one of his summer league games 2 summers ago. And this kid runs up to Puff after the game and says, Puff, man, I was trying so hard out there to run so hard so I could throw up on the court and be like you. I said, look at you, Puff, inspiring the next generation. And it was like when he fell over on the court, I was like, oh, he about to throw up. Like I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
man, like on one hand it's like, Puff, come on, baby, but on the other, like he literally tried to put his life on the line for a national championship. Like he tried to do everything in his power play as hard as possible to he was on the floor throwing up to try to win. So I give him credit, man. He put his heart on.
He put his
soul
heart
on
out.
the line.
Yeah. I vividly remember that.
Oh yeah.
But he left. Did
in
he
front of
leave?
the entire country.
He left and went. He went to Penn State. So.
He just got to Penn State, so he played 3 years at Carolina, and now he's at Penn State. But he got hurt his first year, so he didn't play. Broke his toe.
I gotcha.
State college, baby.
That would have been something to have him play all 4 years there, and then you, because
Right, but just to see him running out of the tunnel, like you can live vicariously through your
Yeah.
your little
Right.
brother's experience. He had some crazy experiences there. You know, they beat K in his final game at Duke.
Yeah.
That's a crazy game. He beat K in his final game in the Final Four. That's like he leaves Carolina with
some great memories.
A little history,
great,
right?
tons of history, great memories. Up 15 in the national championship and lose, like that one stings. But you know, you take, like I said, the highs create the lows create the highs.
While you were at Carolina, did you kind of find a love for the game of golf, or was it
No.
after?
It was being in Arizona.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah,
golf.
so golf, like Roy Williams loves golf. He'll golf as much as
Huge
he can,
golfer.
right? And I had some teammates that were big golfers, but I never golfed. So I was like, man, this game seemed like, I don't know.
Stupid, right?
No, it just seemed like it take up a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, and for you, I mean, you're like, I got to get clubs.
And we're college students, so we don't like necessarily have the time to just go golf.
Yeah.
But being in Arizona is what did it. Like I'm driving anywhere you go, there's a golf course on every corner.
And they're all
And
good.
the weather's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful courses. And so really like last summer, I was like, man, let me see what this game talking about. So I got fitted for a pair of clubs and I started like, let me see if I can figure this game out. And as we all know, once you start playing and you get that one pure drive or that first birdie, you're stuck.
You're
You're
done.
stuck. You're
Game
done.
over.
Game over.
Yep. It's true.
I can go out there and shoot 110 and be like, but that birdie or but that one par I got on the day, that I can do that again.
I'll be back
coming
tomorrow.
You're chasing them,
Chasing
right?
birdies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for the more you play, I mean, obviously I understand you're just now getting into it a little bit, but I mean, the more you play, you're going to start shaving strokes off. You're going to start getting better.
And I was, but I hit like I was in and out. I was getting better this summer. I had some trips that took me away for a long time. And I was trying to be an 80s guy by the end of the summer, but I can't crack that 90. I'm stuck. It just be one or two holes.
It's mental.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, hole 12, you're not locked in, and boom.
Yeah, you
3
hit it
over,
left
and
out.
just
Yeah, make triple. I know.
The dreaded triple.
The
Those
dread-
are hard to come back from, especially if you string
yeah.
two of them together. But
That's
you know what I
tough.
mean? It's fun, and a big part of it that I appreciate, and I've golfed with some of my coaches too, and they can attest to this, is just like it's like mental training.
Oh yeah.
The ability to lock in, the ability to focus, the ability to execute. Like when I tell you, like the intrusive thoughts hit me so like on the backswing, I'd be like, wrong club. I'd be like, my feet not right. I'd be like, did I rotate enough? Where's the weight? Where am I swinging? Like,
Yeah.
am I aimed?
Yeah.
And all these, and I'm just like, Ball goes nowhere. How many shots do we have yesterday where I'm swinging and the ball like ends up behind me almost, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, just hit the ball.
Yeah,
So just the ability. It's like training in and of itself, and just blocking out noise and executing something that you can. You know, the same thing as like shooting a 3-pointer. Like,
Which you're good at.
yeah, and I have a lot more practice with that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure if I didn't have practice, it'd be like, second shot on a par 5 with 300 to go.
a sports psychologist, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Dr. Bob Rotella, works with some NBA players, and they're all transferring to playing golf and all that, and that's what he said, that they all have all these thoughts, right? And he said, when you're shooting a 3-pointer, what are you thinking? They're like, nothing. You get it and react.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm thinking, and it's like, man, stop thinking.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
When you're shooting at your best, you're just
Not
getting
thinking
it,
at all. Correct.
and you're just reacting, right?
Right.
And that's what he said. In golf, you can't think. You just got to react.
Right.
And a clear mind. And I know it's hard when we're not great at something. You're like, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Am I doing? It's just look and react.
Yep.
Because there's nothing else that you can do.
Right.
But I think too, like I said a little bit ago, I mean, the more you get acclimated, and granted, I mean, you're about to be in season, so your golf.
And I'm in New York. It's going to be cold.
It's going to be
cold. You can't golf. Like, it'll be very hard to golf in the winter. Like,
Yeah,
Arizona, you can golf any time of year.
Anytime.
Off day, you could just hit the course that's a minute away from your house and play a quick 9 and come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but being an athlete like you are.
My game's going to fall off a little bit. I'll have to get it back.
Yeah, you're going to shave some strokes.
But you're hungry.
Yeah. You love
You want it.
Yes.
Did you get. How many inches is your driver? Do you know?
1 3/4, maybe.
About
Added?
so 40.
Added.
So
46
7 inches. 46 and 3/4. Yeah, it makes sense. My putter would be a little too small for you, but yeah, you'd be.
Hey, I'm not saying it.
I love that though, man. I love seeing the passion in someone the first time they start getting around the game of golf, because golf has had. I mean, Tiger changed the game, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. But you don't, and maybe because it's more prevalent now with social media and seeing things, but like Steph Curry, for example, the guy's a stick. And seeing some of these athletes outside of what they do for a living and their passion for the game of golf, and how, whether they do charitable events for fundraising or they are playing in tournaments, just seeing that from other athletes, to me, I love it. I love it, and I'm all for it. I'm all for growing the game.
It's cool.
It is cool.
You play the game till you.
And golf is cool.
Golf is
Like,
awesome.
Golf is cool. Like, golf is cool. Golf is a cool thing to do now.
I mean, imagine.
I'm sure it's always been, but like for a lot of us, like players and stuff, like golf is cool to get into.
Yeah, it's
And it's something that we'll be able to play for a really long time. And so when we're like, I think that's why a lot of athletes, sometimes it happens like for the guys that weren't exposed to golf, it happens a lot later in their careers.
Right.
But like, I think everybody comes to like a collective understanding that like, this is a great outlet for like our competitive spirit and being able to compete, whether it's against yourself, against a course, against a friend, and you'll be able to do it, for a really long time.
I can't tell you how many athletes that I've played golf with, and they just think that the game of golf is just, it's so hard. I mean, they are the best at what they are. You're one of the best at what you do, okay? Yeah. And then you come out to play golf, and it humbles you.
And people are like, you're a professional athlete. Like, it don't translate like that. Like, golf is, I've seen people that can't even walk and chew gum, but like golf, they got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know some real unathletic folks that are really good at golf. So it's like, everybody, like you don't necessarily just gain like a physical advantage. Like, no, everybody starts.
Because I guarantee you, there's some guys on tour that can't. They can't run a 40 in 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Or shoot a basketball.
But they can turn them hips, man.
Sheesh.
Keep that face square.
Well, that's the thing, too. The game of golf, there's very few sports in this world when you have children that you can play. Like, for me right now, I can go out and golf with my dad and my son.
Yeah. What other game can you do that with?
You can't.
You can't.
And it's awesome. It's awesome that you can spend that time with 3 generations and listen to some music and whatever, or get, we would never have met you if it wasn't for this.
Right.
Golf
Oh,
is why
100%.
we're here.
Right.
Yeah, it's the common denominator
Right.
for all of this. Because I'm not dunking anything. I might be dunking a
I
donut,
don't know.
but I ain't dunking nothing.
Look at you, trampoline, man. You'll be all right.
I like the halftime show. Yeah, but
Jump through a ring of fire, bud.
But New York, though, I know you're not gonna be able to play. But that
I will
whole,
get out at some point. It's just, weather permitting, time permitting. There's a lot more factors that stand in the way.
oh yeah, a lot more important factors.
You know what you need in New York, and I know it's there, is indoor golf.
Yeah, but it's just not the same.
It ain't the same.
Right? It's not the same.
It's not the same. No,
But it's
Can't-
keeping you
can't-
swinging.
It is, but it's just like
The putting sucks in indoor golf, though.
I couldn't even imagine.
yeah, it's like it is putting on carpet basically. But we played Winged Foot. I've played Winged Foot. He played Winged Foot. But we talked about this before with Marcus Allen
Yeah.
on the podcast. Marcus asked us what region we thought was the best for golf, and we all agreed it's the Northeast.
New York.
No
Okay,
doubt.
but that's weather permitting, though.
Oh yeah,
right,
weather
right.
permitting. But I mean,
quality golf
Yeah.
courses.
But say you had to live in one area, and you just wanted, like, you really just want to golf all the time.
Scottsdale.
You going to Scottsdale?
That's where I'm at
Scottsdale
for
or
I'm a Scottsdale summer golfer, though,
a couple of reasons.
which is like backwards. I'm out there at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon and
you're
just
not,
watching.
that's nuts.
And 1:15.
Yeah.
But I got the course to myself most of the time. That's the only positive.
Where do you
but
play out there?
the other negative is that if you're playing poorly, it gets tough.
It gets really
Yeah,
hard.
it gets hard.
You're battling that heat, and it's just frustration rampant.
yeah, playing 2-man events with people that you got to carry around sometimes. That's equally as frustrating too. In the golf world, we're not going to get into that.
Where do you play at out there?
My favorite is Silverleaf up north. Silverleaf is a beautiful course, and I have a friend that's a member there that
That place is
Gives me
supposed to
on.
be sick.
super.
Do you remember a guy there, Bill Steins?
I'm sure I've run into him.
Yeah, he was there for a while. He's not there anymore. He moved back down to Carolina, but he was the director of golf
Yeah.
at Silverleaf.
What about Whisper Rock? Have you played
I
there?
actually haven't. That's the second time somebody asked me in the last 24 hours. I haven't got up to Whisper Rock. I'll
Whisper's
need
good.
to eventually.
I'll get you.
In terms of like public courses, Phoenician's a great one. TPCs are a great one. Champions and
Yeah,
tournaments,
Greyhawk's good.
Yeah,
Greyhawk's
Greyhawk.
good.
Let's see what else. There's just a ton.
There's
and
so
they're
much
like
golf there, man.
Yeah.
Like there's like this one like a couple minutes from my house, Eagle Mountain, beautiful.
Yep.
Like just pretty, like and they do a pretty good job
I-
taking care of them throughout the summers and there's so many. Like I just flip through them. It's just like let's try a new one.
I love everything about Phoenix and Scottsdale. The food,
It's a great
the
place.
people.
I really enjoy my time there.
One of my favorite restaurants is in Old Town,
Which
Yeah.
one?
Mission.
Mission.
Have you ate there?
That place
Yeah.
is incredible.
That guacamole. Oh,
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Arizona is a very livable place.
Mm-hmm.
Scottsdale's a very livable place. Phoenix is a very livable place. It's easy living. It's not like it's great weather except for that burst of
Heat.
summer.
For 90 days.
Not too much like traffic to get around this. It's pretty easy to move around, get where you need to get to, and the people are pretty easy going there too.
so you mentioned you got fitted for clubs.
Yeah.
What's in the bag? What kind of clubs are in your bag?
I can tell you what's not in my bag. No iron under a 7.
So you got hybrids.
I have hybrids, but I threw my 5 and 6 away. I don't know where they are.
So you don't have.
What? Just frustration?
Frustration.
Oh really?
Did you break them or just throw them?
No, there's my 5 is somewhere in a garage, and I believe a 6 is in a car back at home. I'm not sure which one. But, or the 6 could be somewhere in the garage too. Who knows at this
Who made them?
PXG. I have a
Oh,
PXG
that's
set,
Scottsdale.
and I have a ping set coming in, so I can have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. But, man, and the 8 irons next.
Oh no.
The 8 iron.
You're
You
gonna
don't
dump
do
it.
that. The 8 iron.
Okay,
That's my
so if
favorite
it's an
club.
even iron, I can't. This
that's
is going to
mental.
become very. You're going to be like, bro, that's all the irons. Even irons and 5s. And I don't go below 5. So no 5, no 6, no 8 usage. I'll use the 7, I'll use the 9. But the other day, like we were playing yesterday, and I don't remember what the distance was, but I was like, like it was right back here. One of those, one of those holes where your landing space towards the green is limited. So it's like I can't go too much, can't go too little. I'd be like, man, I really need to use my 8-iron here. But I was like, I don't hit the 8-iron well. That's pointless. I used the 7, threw it over. So it's like, I got to live with that because if I put out that 8-iron, I would be in the backswing like, bro, you've never hit this club. Like, my 8-iron looks brand new.
But in your mind, what's the difference for you then between
There is no
7?
difference in my mind.
It's
That's
mental.
the thing. No, it's not. If you handed me the club blind and I went to swing it, I'd be like, I'd swing it and you'd see the result and I'd be like, that's the 8-iron, wasn't it? It always just
cuts. Little slicey.
every time 6 and 8 every
You're
time.
right-handed. You play right-handed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'll get it out on the range and just be like, no, there's no stress. Like whatever happens, my success rate with that club on the range, no pressure.
Perfect.
6 and 8. No, I'm at like 10%. It's like there's no way I'm gonna feel comfortable pulling this out on the course. So I just threw them out.
That's a first. Well, listen, you get good off the tee, learn how to chip, and make putts. That's all you need to worry about.
Scrap the 5 and 6.
Then that's all.
The putting, all you have to do is eliminate.
If
once you get to the point where you eliminate all 3 putts, your scores are going to drop.
That's but the thing is, like, this is our problem. Me and my buddy CK, when we golf, our problem is we just step up to the ball and putt it. And it's like, bro, we got to start focusing more on our putts.
Read it.
We got to start trying to read the green. We got to like breathe and like literally we'll just walk up to the ball, like barely set our feet and see where it goes. Be like, bro, we got to stop 3-putting.
Yeah,
everybody's in a rush. Enjoy it,
dude. If you 3-putt 8 times around and you shave that's 8 strokes. That's the easiest way to pick up strokes right there.
It is. So
putting's an art, though, guys. You got to realize that. Like that shit, you got to like look at that whole.
You know what the other part of it is? I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's like if you really sit there, line it up, take your time, do all that, and miss, you probably I get so frustrated.
Well, I mean, that's what I do.
So it's like eliminate your frustration by being like, man, I barely tried for it. So, putting is a beast.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the most important part of the game. It's bar none.
We'll get them dialed in at putting.
Oh yeah,
our friends over at Bettinardi Golf will take care of you. Fit you for a putter. They're in Chicago, so whenever you go in to play the Bulls, we'll get you guys introduced. They'll get you all set up over there. Fit,
and all the putts will just start going in.
It's incredible to get fit.
It's a game changer. Yeah. Right. Putting's one of my stronger suits of my game, but getting a Bettinardi putter in your hand is going to change the way you putt. Really? Yeah, I mean it's fit to you, and this is professional shit, man. This is like
18 cameras look at your stroke.
Yeah.
So they don't redo your stroke. They build a putter to fit your stroke.
So then I'll be extra weak with every other putter.
So you're gonna be knocking them in, man.
So we'll get you all dialed in there after this.
I'm gonna just start getting on the green and be like, I'm in 2.
Well, just 2-putt, automatic 2-putts.
Automatic 2 putts.
Yeah.
Pace of play.
If you can 2-putt, eliminate 3 putts, in par 3s you can go pars or bogeys. You'll be breaking 90 before end of next summer.
Yep.
Next summer, we got to get out and play, man.
For sure. This is beautiful courses up here.
Yeah, play up here, play down in West Virginia. I'm at a couple spots down there.
Bud, he's in New York. We're gonna go to New York to play golf. We'll
go to New York and play golf, man. Yep.
But there's so much good golf there.
It was awesome having you on.
Thank you, man.
And we got to do our last segment of the show called the Tap-In segment, presented by Bettinardi Golf. Check them out online at bettinardi.com. We were just talking about Bettinardi, so how fitting for my man to be asking you a few of these questions.
All right, quick witty responses.
Okay, I'm bad at this. I'm bad at it.
Which one do you want another shot at? NBA Finals or Final Four? Well, you can't get another shot at the Final Four. Which one did you wish?
College basketball tournament. Oh, that's tough. That's tough because the NBA Finals became so close. But I'll tell you what, the disappointment of losing, and we lost in the Sweet 16 my senior year, but I was sure we were going to win. We were 1 seed. We were good. And we ran into a hot Auburn team they made a lot of threes. They were hot. Like, credit to them. They played so well. And just like that, college career over, you know you'll never have another shot at it. Like NBA, like you always think like, man, I'm gonna get another shot at it. But
Right.
college, when that's done, it's done.
It's done.
The pain of that one was so cut so deep.
So deep. Yeah.
I want another shot at it. But that's also because I feel like I could get another shot at the
Yeah,
NBA
yeah.
Finals in real life. I feel
Right.
like I can.
Well,
All right. This is the ongoing debate in basketball. LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
LeBron is great. Great. Like, really great. Second best player of all time. Michael Jordan's number 1.
You've played against LeBron.
Yes.
How good is this guy?
He's incredibly cerebral. So that's the thing. You play against older Bron, right? This is not young Miami Cleveland Bron. So I'd assume, I didn't play him when he was younger, but I assume he's not like naturally just not as quick and explosive as he used to be. But he's the smartest basketball player in the world. So example, rookie year, like I'm in the game playing against the Lakers, and coach calls a play for me. I'm like, this is great. I'm gonna get a look. Like, I love when coach calls a play for me. And this one's pretty tricky. Like, it usually works. So coach calls it out. You know, Ricky Rubio, our point guard, echoes it. LeBron calls it out. He's like, blah, 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 blah. Then he talks to his teammates. He goes, it's coming to him. Don't let him get this pin down. Like, blow it up. I looked at him like, bro, you hating. Let me get this one off. Let me get this. Come on, man.
At least let me get
They
the ball.
They blew it up. Like, and I knew, like, the defenders, like, knows exactly where I'm about to go. They blew up the play.
Did
So
he
I was
blow
like,
it up
"Bron, come on, bro."
because he heard what was going on, or he just had the intuition to know?
No,
what
Bron wasn't guarding me. He told who was guarding me what was coming, and he was right. So he knows your place. He's really like, he's a great basketball mind. Like, he lived
crazy.
and same thing with CP, Chris Paul. Like, one thing about playing with those guys and against those guys is to be as successful as they are. They've had to become very like scientific with basketball. So they watch. Those high-level vets, they watch, and they've been watching, and they understand the game like deeper than probably you would think basketball could be
Right.
understood. So they pay so much attention to the fine details, and like they just think like maybe sometimes like they think the game. You know what I mean? Like they know what's going on. They understand situations, and it's really like you learn a lot from those guys.
Yeah.
Dream foursome. It can be dead or alive. Whoever you want to play golf with.
I'll put Michael Jordan in there. I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jordan. I'm going to put like. Does Obama golf?
Yes.
Obama's in there. And do they have to be a golfer?
No.
Yeah, but they should be.
I mean, it could be whatever you want. You want them to ride around, tell jokes to you while you golf. That's fine too.
Oh, that would be cool. You need somebody funny, but I want somebody kind of serious in this one. I'll pick like Martin Luther King Jr. or something. That's a great foursome. Right
That's a
there.
great
It's a good foursome.
Damn.
All right. When I say the word Duke, what comes to your mind?
Nah. I don't
Mayonnaise.
care for him. Yeah, mayonnaise. Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's
of
good
York.
mayonnaise. It is good mayonnaise.
But the one thing about the Duke-Carolina rivalry is that there's respect between two
Yeah.
schools. Not as much so with NC State.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What are you chasing?
I'm chasing birdies.
Ooh.
He's got it.
And a championship. You know what I mean?
In a ring.
I got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
That's gonna come, baby.
And chasing birdies.
I might be a Nets fan after today. I don't have an NBA team, like I said earlier.
It's Brooklyn Nets.
So
Maybe
I'm
get on the
Brooklyn
wagon.
now, boys.
He's going to be a season ticket holder by the end of the week, bro.
I might. Damn right, man. I love your story,
Brooklyn,
man. I
man,
love what you got going on.
Brooklyn.
You chasing birdies in life. You did it. You're doing
I'm
it.
chasing, like, it's metaphorical, right?
It
Like,
is.
chasing birdies. Like, what
like-
are we doing when we're chasing birdies? Like, we're aiming for,
The best.
but, like, par is, like, that's fine. That's acceptable. That's good.
Yeah.
But, like, birdies, like, you're aiming to be a step above.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
You're aiming to be better than good.
Yeah, in all aspects of life.
Boom.
My man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much,
Of course.
man.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it
appreciate
was awesome.
I appreciate the time.